Hey there, my name is Pravus, and welcome to more Plague Inc. Evolved custom scenarios. Today we're going to try out a relatively new scenario called Overpopulated, created by Rune Premium. Now, this isn't the first time we've seen this type of a scenario. In fact, one of the official scenarios might be based around this concept. They're usually a little bit on the easier side, only because if you have that many humans all crammed onto a tiny ball of dirt floating in space, it's pretty easy to be very infective and hit critical mass early, but they usually are pretty fun. Also, just seeing a ridiculously high body count is kind of fun. I don't know if someone is still tracking, officially, technically speaking, the number of kills that I've officially made in my Plague Inc. career, but it's a lot, and this is a pretty good way to pad those numbers. In year, well, we don't know. They stopped counting years a long time ago anyways. The population of Earth has increased by 1,000 times. 7.1 trillion humans. Is it 1,000 times 7.1? Because that's 7.1 quadrillion. That would be a lot. Or, because this 7.1 trillion is 1,000 times the current number. Actually, the current number is 7.9 billion, I believe. But okay, that's beside the point. Doesn't matter? You'll need to play to find out. All right, color me intrigued. I'll accept your challenge. We're playing with the bacteria, and I will play this on Mega Brutal, because again, it's usually a little bit on the easier side if you have 1,000 times the population, so we might as well. Also, you often get extra DNA, so the extra challenge, I think, is necessary. We'll call this one Mortal Mumps. Why not? This is my first scenario, so, ... I hope you enjoy it, smiley face. I hope so too, for your sake. Because otherwise, I'll rip you a new one. No, I'm kidding, of course. I'm very happy to see people try out new scenarios, even if they are simple concepts. You gotta get your feet wet somehow, am I right? So I am expecting to see normal transmission symptoms and abilities. Okay, so this is all here. So in this case, with this scenario, I think that the author literally just changed one number in the base game, and we're just gonna be playing the normal thing, but with 1,000 times the people to kill. I mean, again, it's not exactly the most creative thing, but it's okay. You gotta start somewhere, you gotta try something. Tweaking even a single value is more than 99% of the Plague Inc. community has ever done. Looking at all of you, where are your scenarios? Huh? Why aren't you creating more content for me? Guys, don't you understand? I got summer coming up. I need to be able to pay for a summer vacation. Come on, make more content. Anyway, I'm kidding. So we'll go for the skin lesions very early on. I know it's a fair bit of extra severity, but that kind of works to my advantage. Plus, you get some pretty darn good infectivity in the early game. Sneezing is also one of the higher value options. Beyond that, I think we go early for some air transmission. I say early. Some people would say that I'm being a little bit late, but it's not like we were going to be spreading by airplane for a little bit anyway. So it does definitely increase my infectivity in Saudi Arabia, but also going for more symptoms does that too. This is now starting to come into play when there's a chance that I'll get onto a plane and get out of here. We got nausea for free. How nauseating is that? Ugh, it sickens me in a very literal fashion. All right, so how many people do we actually have in the world here? Let's check. Let's see, hundreds place, thousands place, millions, billions, trillions. Sure enough, 7.1 trillion humans on this tiny little planet. How are we sustaining the population? How can you even do that? Seriously, the water wars must have absolutely decimated us. At least I would have thought it would have. Well, anyway, let's go for cysts, and we could go for abscesses early on. Hypersensitivity often becomes a top choice for me, only because I do like getting the free kind of de facto drug resistance. It's pretty nice, but we'll worry about that later. Let's get some more air transmission, try to get out of Saudi Arabia. There we go. All right. The more continents we get into, the better. All right, so now we're starting to get into places like Europe. I will go for some water transmission and at least one level of the drug resistance early, since we are now starting to get into Europe. I think we're about to get into the good old US of A, and sure enough, we are. Cold resistance early on will be key, but let's go for that hypersensitivity. Hypersensitivity also leads to things like paralysis and coma, which can be good to help reset the cure if you find yourself in a pretty nasty situation. Pneumonia is pretty good for the colder regions. We'll go ahead and pick that up, and a little bit more water transmission, trying to get to some of those islands early on. I will think about going for maybe some birds, just to try and increase the odds of me getting across borders into some land countries. My primary concern is spreading in Russia and places very early so we can get into Greenland. So for that, let's go ahead and start picking up some cold resistance. Résistance des cold. I have no idea what the French word for cold is, so I'm just gonna assume that that sounded good, and no one's gonna mock me relentlessly on the internet. Oh, sweet summer child. All right, so we've got all that going for us. Let's go for some rural transmission with the sheep shoops, as my wife likes to call them. So we'll spread a little bit faster, in Russia. The Caribbean, believe it or not, can also sometimes end up being a bit of an issue for us, depending on how kind the US or Mexico are when they try to send a boat over here. Sometimes it works and sometimes it don't. Let's go for that extreme bioaerosol, almost always going to be good. Obviously, I want to go for things like necrosis if we can, but we may not be able to for at least a little bit. I'm going to go for more world transmission, believe it or not, just to kind of stack up some extra modifiers in places like Russia. Get a dang boat over to Greenland early. It's mega brutal. Even if everything's looking really good, sometimes you get horribly unlucky and you just roll consecutive ones on your D20 and you're sad, right? That can happen. Notice, by the way, how much DNA we're getting. And that's because even though not even half of the world has been infected at this point, the game just registers, hey, you've killed millions of people and infected trillions of people. We should just give you ridiculous amounts of DNA. And that right there is the exact reason that often overpopulation-based scenarios are a bit on the easy side. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up some genetic hardening and just slow down the cure. Since we got the DNA to spare, I feel like I might as well. Come on, there's necrosis. You know what? As much as I want this, I can't afford it right now because otherwise there's a good chance Greenland shuts down early. This is, after all, mega brutal. Sweden and Morocco don't worry me that much. It's just a matter of seeing a boat leave Russia or Norway and get in here nice and soon. Come on, don't do me dirty like this. Y'all know you wants to. Y'all knows you wants to. Anything else we could do here? I mean, I could go for some extra birds, which would be helpful to spread faster in places like Africa. That's the boat I'm looking for! All right. Victory is mine. Let's go for the necrosis, then let's go for paralysis, and we'll want to go for pulmonary fibrosis, leading toward things like coma and total organ failure. Of course, you can move toward insanity as well to buy ourselves a little bit of extra score and demolish that cure. Insomnia, actually going off for free, is a pretty nice thing to help me with that. We can go for paranoia and seizures. That also helps. So here's 3 different options for you to mutate. All of them will be amazing, and if you don't, well, don't worry. I'll probably get a load of DNA as people start dropping dead. Mortal mumps is killing very fast. Who cares? I've got necrosis, and with necrosis, I can get away with literally anything. I'm shocked Canada, by the way, hasn't hit critical mass a lot sooner. I feel like it should have been. We got the cure sitting at 50%. That is certainly much more than I would have expected. They're definitely going fast. That is the only danger to an overpopulation scenario is I think, I could be wrong on this, but I think the game does technically increase the amount of progress or the number of people contributing toward a cure, so you can find all of a sudden that they're curing you way faster than you might have otherwise expected. So I may need to save a few points just to go for some genetic reshuffles. That said, other option, kill people faster, and I think that's fine. We'll go for some genetic shuffles in a little bit. Oh yeah, the game's giving me tips. Did you know you could do a genetic reshuffle? Oh God, you're about to lose the game. Maybe you should do a genetic reshuffle. Have you considered a genetic reshuffle? Shut up! I know what I'm doing, gosh dang it. I played this game practically as a career. There are few people in the world who have more hours in freaking Plague Inc. than I do, and I mean that literally. It actually is kind of scary. I actually don't know for sure if that's true, but I'm pretty sure it's true. I mean, good Lord, how many people can put in more than this? How many hours do I even have? It's at least like 500 or 600, right? I don't know for sure. Whatever. Can I get 2 more points for 1 more genetic reshuffle? That'd be nice. Never mind, everyone's dead. All right, we'll forget it. I was hoping to buy myself a smidge more score, but we'll live with that one. So 522 days, a little bit longer than I otherwise was expecting, considering how many people there were to kill, but that's okay. 76% pure progress, 41,376 points, only 2 stars. I hang my head in shame. I am prepared for your abuse. Lay it on me. I probably can handle it, because I'm sure I won't read the comments. Anyways, all right, so is it really like that creative of a scenario? No, I mean, you change one number and then you publish it, but you know what, that's okay. I'm all right with that. I'll give you some encouragement. Please go ahead and try new things. Experiment, see what you can do with that scenario creator. Good Lord, there's a lot of creative people out there who've done amazing things. If you play with it enough, I'm sure you can figure out some of that as well. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If so, I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.